2, 1. Hey, how's it going? Chale's Legacy, episode number 8. I got my uncle Victor Miranda here. Got my 3 people in the back. Y'all know who they are: Frank, Isaiah, and Jacob, and my cousin Nune, which is Victor's son, oldest son. Episode 8 here, guys. We're gonna chit chat a little bit. Got a lot of stories to talk about. Hope y'all enjoy it. And let's rock and roll, man. Here we go. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Victor Miranda, soy el fifth one de la familia. Y somos 6 y yo soy el 5. Estoy casado con mi esposa Leti y tengo 3 niños, 3 hombres: Victor Jr., acá está, y Ravik, y Justin y Leslie, que son 4. Y también tenemos nietos y nietas, pero son un nieto y dos nietas total.
Pero you got another one coming, right?
Oh yeah. Leslie. No, tengo 4 y 4 y luego Nune, y luego Leslie tiene una mujer. Justin va a ser el de later,
Wife?
My wife Letty, y we've been getting married since 1990. Ya estamos hablando
2022.
estamos hablando 42 years, no? A ver, 32 years.
32 years married. Still going strong.
32 years, 32, yeah, 32.
Brothers?
Y mi hermano Frankie, que fue el mayor, Candy, mi hermano Candy, y mi hermano Walla, y of course Chale, ¿verdad? Y luego yo y Jacob. Y
Vamos, mistake.
pero lo que sí puedo decir es que en esta generación uno puede decir que nosotros la pasamos y todavía no la acabamos. We ain't done with it. Pero le doy gracias que yo sé que todos mis 6 hermanos podemos decir que mi papá y mi mamá, y la unidad que tuvimos de familia, como tuvimos crecidos y disciplinados de todas maneras, pero con la carrera que seguimos con el boxeo y todo, yo puedo decir, mijo, que hey, esta vida que yo tengo, y ojalá que todos mis hermanos puedan decir, hey bro, to me it's the best.
Yeah, man.
Yo puedo decir, hey, no regrets at all.
And you know what, Vic, that's why I'm doing this, man. Because I think y'all have a beautiful story, all 5 of y'all, man, 6 of y'all. So,
yo te puedo decir que, okay, no, go ahead.
Let me, because it's kind of down here. I want to make sure that they can hear it. It's good.
Yeah, I guess I better hold
because
it.
I'm pretty sure they can hear
Okay.
it. So hold it pretty close right here.
Bueno. Y eso es la parte de la familia ahorita, pero como te dices, you're gonna interview more questions y vamos a... Because hay mucho que decir, bro.
I don't got Victor down here no more. Where are you residing at, Vic? Where are you living at right now?
Ya tenemos desde el 2012 que me fui para San Antonio, que lo fuimos para San Antonio y ya los quedamos y aquí estamos cerquitas, ¿verdad? Pero de aquí hacemos todavía, ¿me entiendes? Esta es la ruta de nosotros en Cotula, The Legacy y la leyenda aquí va a estar, y ha sido y va a estar cumplida con la familia de Miranda que hemos comenzado y todavía no se ha acabado.
Yes, sir.
¿Me entiendes?
I'm pretty excited about this interview, guys. I had my Theo Frankie interview a couple of days ago. That was beautiful, man. And, you know, we all watched it and we went, wow, man, these guys' stories is crazy. And I know you because you're real close to my dad. You guys it was right next to each other, man. So I'm really excited about this, man. I hope everything goes well. And, you know, just speak the heart. If you got anything else to say, Vic, or you want to talk about anything else that you remember, like I was telling Frank and Jacob, whatever, just say it, man.
Que tenías 10 years old cuando comenzaste, ¿era?
Sí.
Árabe, como quiera. Pero 10 years old cuando comenzaste en el boxeo, en Detroit Lakes.
En Detroit Lakes.
Yeah.
Y eso fue, pues, ¿quieres que comience con
Well, let me start you. I'm going to ask about that, but let me ask you, tell us about your younger years growing up here in Cotula or in Detroit Lakes, wherever you were going at.
Pues de chiquillo era aquí, pues ya ves, yo nací en Illinois, ¿verdad? Y luego de chiquito, y luego yo llegué aquí en Cotula cuando tenía 2, 3 años, por ahí. Pero aquí crecí en Cotula y crecimos aquí y de los 6, como fuimos 5 hermanos en ese tiempo, porque chica estaba no... Estaba no nacido mi hermanita chica, pero yo me creé con Chale, mi hermano. Yo le seguía a Chale. Pero a lo que te quiero decir que Chale era mi hermano, ¿verdad? Era Frankie, era hermano de nosotros, chica. Pero yo Chale lo considero, te puedo decir, yo Chale lo considero mi hermano, mi amigo, my friend. Y éramos we were together en China, porque yo pasamos la vida juntos, ¿entiendes? Eso nunca se va a hacer. It's never gonna go away.
How many years apart were y'all?
3 years apart, 3.5 years, 4 years, ¿entiendes? Pero fuimos por la escuela juntos, because we went through high school. I was a freshman, él era un senior. So we went through a lot together, ¿me entiendes?
Béisbol, basketball, fútbol,
Y todo junto, y especialmente el boxeo. Y especialmente el boxeo. Y pero
You were talking about your amateur starting at 10 years old. Where'd y'all start boxing at?
we started boxing allá, pues aquí, ¿verdad? Andábamos, que me acuerdo que andábamos aquí correteando y todo, pero cuando ya lo movimos para Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, que después mi papá y mi mamá para allá, y fueron a una escuela y todo, ¿verdad? Y ahí salió un boys club, y de ahí comenzó en el boys club, porque por ejemplo, pues Walla fue el que también fue el que hizo, Walla tiene su legacy del boxeo, porque y luego pues los perseguimos todos juntos al boys club. Y
That's a good stuff here. Hey, I heard que comenzaron aquí en la plaza. You had a pair of guantes and y'all would get all the people at the plaza. Y'all would fight in the plaza.
Aquí en la
That's how the
plaza,
boxing started, eh?
en la plaza, y
Denny Ramírez, ¿no?
acá Denny Ramírez. Denny
They
Ramírez.
tell me the stories whenever we'd be out drinking. Hey man, we used to start fighting at the plaza. Your brothers would bring gloves, and if you had to get in. You could not get in. And then it was just go from there.
Y de aquí, pues de aquí comenzó I mean, I'm sure antes había boxeo, a lo mejor algunas gentes boxearían, sería aquí en Cotula o no, ¿verdad? Pero la atención de esto, lo que estamos hablando ahorita, es the legacy del boxeo. We gotta say que it got started con la familia Miranda, comenzando de aquí. Alguien dice Cotula, and the first thing that's gonna be is los boxeadores Miranda. Es lo que va a salir de volada. Es lo que está conocido, ¿verdad? Y es lo que te quiero decir. La palabra de uno que puede decir como ahorita, una palabra que uno está extendiendo, yo lo hice de su corazón, porque it's meant to what it is. El boxeo.
¿Qué era tu récord?
Yo tuve como unas
Amateur.
amateur wise, yo tuve como 62, 63 fights por
Cuando
ahí,
peleaste
más o
en
menos.
San Antonio, that was what fight was that?
En la
Cuando peleaste tú y Charlie, igual a los
de
tres.
los gloves. Bueno, esa fue
Porque fueron pasteles.
sí, pero esa fue casi my second to third last fight de mi carrera de amateur.
De amateur.
Porque gané ahí, and that was basically, me fui para state, y la primera pelea que peleé en state yo la perdí.
Oh, ok.
Y ahí se me hace que en esa fue mi última pelea en
¿Te acuerdas a quién
state.
le peleaste en State?
En state le peleé uno que se llamaba Fernie Morales, parece.
¿Mexicano también?
Era mexicano, era del Paso. El vato tenía su experience in the amateur business también. So he was up in those, Colorado Springs y todo en esa area. So state of Texas is loaded with boxers, bro. Top boxers.
Okay, Vic, and how many tournaments did y'all end up competing in and winning, or
And
moving into state and all that stuff?
Eso era una multitude of tournaments. We won regional, state, Minnesota, Texas, ¿verdad? Nationals, junior Olympic.
How many
Eso-
times did you guys win nationals or make it to nationals?
Junior Olympic Nationals, yo gané una.
Okay.
And that was a combination of states, surrounding states, in Grand Rapids, Nebraska. Fuimos para allá. Yo ya pa. Tenía 12 years old, and you're talking national exposure, ¿me entiendes?
That is awesome.
What
weight, Vic? What weight?
Era 85 pounds. Estaba chavalo. Tenía, pero De ahí es como te digo, 12 years old. Y comenzamos de 10, pero ya en 12, es lo que te quiero decir. De ahí comenzó la legacies. Y eso era amateur. Y cuando es encina, and you're surrounded around national attention. Porque eran combination de states. Y si lo ganas, I mean, that stays in your heart, ¿me entiendes? And it's an accomplishment que vienes diciendo tú en la comenzada. Hey, el sueño de nosotros vamos a ganar. And you're not going to give up hasta que ganen.
That's beautiful, man. Beautiful story, man. Go ahead and keep it back there. Keep it back there. I'm gonna go ahead. I need to get better mics, guys. Like I said, we're on episode 8, but everything's so expensive right now, and we're just trying to test everything out. So y'all keep that there. Y'all got questions to ask.
I got a question right now for Vic.
Let me ask something. When you went to school, you were at school with my dad. I mean, if you don't mind, any fights, anything that we can talk about? That if you don't mind talking about it, man. Just talk about when you're younger.
Es como te digo, entre high school season, yo y tu papá andábamos juntos todo el tiempo, ¿verdad? We were fortunate to be together. Era freshman, era senior, pero todo el tiempo tuvimos rol juntos en las escuelas. And en veces él se peleaba y pues yo me metía. I mean, not much help, pero como quiera. I mean, you gotta give in, ¿me entiendes? Yes, sir. Y él también al revés. And es como te digo, I mean, somos de aquí con tú, la verdad, pero we've lost battles and we've won battles, ¿me entiendes? En the street fights ahora diremos encina. Pero it's your own fault, basically. Y eso en la high school que peleamos y todo, pero conocemos a todos aquí, ¿me entiendes? Muchas veces pues no perdimos, ¿me entiendes? Tampoco. Yeah, pero
I got a question. When y'all were training for all them fights and everything, who was your main sparring partner? Just Chale?
No, okay. Basically era Chale y Wala.
Porque you were a lot lighter.
I was a lot lighter than them, pero mira, yo peleaba con ellos. We sparred together, Chip. We sparred together, pero I could say to them que they would hold back a little bit because we were in different weights. So ellos estaban más pesados, ¿verdad? Un poquito más que yo. So a mí me dejaban que yo les pegara, pero I know they would hesitate to hit me back tampoco, pero that was all a learning process experience.
Yeah, they were working with you.
And they were working with me as I was working with them.
That's what I was telling you on the last one, Jeff. Estos vatos, lo que era Wala, Charlie, y Victor, they were the best in their division.
3 state champions.
Say 32, 25, 19. Entonces, when they sparred with each other, they didn't get much sparring porque aquí we had a couple of camaradas in Pearsall, Yappy, and Joe, I don't remember the other guy's name, pero they had a little boxing team allá también in Pearsall. We'd go to Carrizo, ¿te acuerdas de Carrizo también a sparear? Cristal. There was little boxing clubs everywhere. Pero cuando it came down to where they were going to go compete, sea Golden Gloves or sea ABF o lo que sea, me acuerdo que all three of them would, ya las últimas 2 semanas, espareaban duro because, they were the best in their division. Yeah. So, 32 estaba competing con Charlie. Charlie era el mejor de su division y Victor era el mejor de su division. So, it was good, man. So, whenever they would go to the tournament, ya iban bien preparados because, ya iban estudiados, Each one's got a different combination of how to fight. Uno está más recio, otro está más rápido, otro está más slick, y otro es un technician, and this like that. So they would learn off each other. So cuando iban a los Golden Gloves or whatever, 3-4 day tournament, ya iban bien preparados because, they were competing with each other. Yeah. So, I mean, eventually they would fight with, espareaban con Carrizo, Crystal City, Pearsall, donde otros, pero in their division, they were the best in their division. So ya cuando iban para los tournaments, ya iban bien preparados, because
training with the best, Iron
What better way than to get some good sparring with the state champion, man? Yeah. So now that we got you on here, let's have it on record. I'll put you on the spot. Who was the better sparring partner? My dad or Wala?
Te voy a decir, mira, como Frankie estaba diciendo ahorita, Jacob, Wala, and we can all agree on this, Wala was the best skill boxer. Mi hermano Charlie, he was an aggressive hard puncher. heavy hands. Y yo, I had the body of a professional fighter, which I never accomplished. Pero lo que te quiero decir, yo me miro a mí because I had the skills the body height, the jab, which is a well-known punch in boxing. Ese eran mis estilos de boxeo, cómo estudiarte a ti. ¿Entiendes? Y tenían a Frankie y mi papá de los cornermen y todo. Pero overall, que dijeras who was the best boxer sparring partner, we all chipped in together to make each other better, the best one together. ¿Entiendes?
Let me let you
Te
in.
salvaste de madre, te salvaste de madre.
Did you get that? Is it?
Let me let you in a little secret, man. I don't know if anybody's ever said this to him, but when me and Isaiah, we were growing up, we were boxing, I was boxing. I always asked my dad, who's the best one? And I don't know if it's just a older brother thing or what, but my dad would always say, you were the best one, but you never got to fight professional. And he goes, Walla was great, Walla was good, Walla started everything, Walla was just, I sparred with Walla, but he was already older, and I know he wasn't going hard on me, but I could see as he was older, I could still see like the stuff that he would do, right, Jake? We would work together, and I'm like, man, this guy puts a lot of pressure. You know, of course, he was a lot older, and he wasn't like, into boxing at the time, but I sparred my dad a couple of times. Of course, he didn't lay it on me, but I could see like my dad would hit you in the same spot, boom, same spot, and that's what hurts, man, getting hit. But I asked him one day, I go, hey, Dad, we talking right here. I said, tell me the truth, man. Who was the best boxer? You, Vic, or Walla? And he goes, let me tell you the truth. He never got a chance to fight professional, but if he did, he would have been the best one. And he said, Victor was the best fighter.
Yo todo el tiempo eso, Chepa, within me, yo le digo, and we had our talks, ¿verdad? Y le dije, mira, yo no tuve I couldn't accomplish it porque no me pasaron sidetracks, detours in life, basically.
Yeah.
Pero, you know what? It's still not over, como dices, because la leyenda todavía sigue, ¿me entiendes? It's still here within the family, ¿me entiendes? Pero, and to that, we can support it. Y eso, y within us, pero we support, a todo el pueblito como dices, Frankie, antes, aquí había muchos boxeadores que vinieron, and there was some good talent aquí, Chepa. And in our era, we had chavalones también in the junior Olympic age. And you know what? You could mention, como irá, Freddy Luna, Daniel Salazar, Seferino Salazar, ¿quién más andaba aquí? Rolando Martínez, ¿tú no te acuerdas de él? Chavalones, Ben Teniuca, Robert Teniuca, Jesús Hernández, que era el de aquel, y luego, ándale, la chorrita, y Fred González, ¿te acuerdas? Fred González también tiró guante, y ¿quién más andaba? Muchos fueron a calarse, ¿me entiendes? Nada más que no, they didn't have that
Discipline.
The discipline, y lo que tiene el boxeo, you're a point, y todavía irá, there's another cambio, acceleration que you still, that you know you gotta meet that one. Ese es that's a key component. ¿Me entiendes?
Y, ¿quién se encargaba de training? Pa would do all the set up, or Walla, or who would be the one getting everybody? Since y'all had that many people working out.
Pues,
No, pues estos, they would basically train the kids también. Lo que era, los chavalos iban al
gym.
Yo te digo que ese tiempo teníamos ahí la tiendita
Sánchez, yeah.
de Sánchez.
Right there at that corner down the road.
Estos pusieron bags y pusieron espejos y todo el peo. So all the kids would show up, man. Y esto les estaban entrenando.
Would y'all charge the kids or anything?
No. It was just basically, anybody wanted to come in. Yeah, gente para la paloma.
That's good, man.
Aquí en Cotula, there's a lot of talent, man. A lot of talent. Nomás que muchos chavalos no le, iban 1 o 2 semanas. The regimen was too hard. They didn't want football, basketball, y todo el peo, and it interfered, and they wouldn't come back anymore,
Yeah.
Gotta be all in.
And that es como dice Frankie en esa manera. There was a lot of talent, pero nosotros teníamos the supporting cast within that. That would never come to an end, ¿me entiendes? Y eso es lo que todo el tiempo siguieron para adelante y para adelante y para adelante.
I think
You wanna ask a question,
I think Nuna had a question. That's what I was gonna say. So everyone, just want to introduce myself real quick. Victor Miranda Jr., the son of Victor Miranda Sr. He's my father. Um, Dad, I just got a quick few questions here. I noticed when I grew up, of course, I didn't grow up here in Texas. I was born here in Texas, but I didn't grow up here in Texas. But we grew up in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Dad, I just have a few quick questions. So tell me more about Grand Forks, North Dakota. The whole Boxing Incorporated thing, because when I was little, my dad used to take me to Boxing Incorporated, me and my brothers, and I would go see him, spar up, do a little fight. So tell me more about Boxing
That was,
in Grand Forks, Dad.
That was ahí es donde empezó, como te digo, tu papá, ¿verdad? Y luego he had a professional career up there, pero there was a YMCA también, un boys club, y there was also young kids también fighting, and I had these three boys, ¿verdad? Y dije, pues le voy a enseñar para que se defiendan también, and we were involved in it y todo. So I'd take them there, and they got to meet Didi Quisnell, the coach. Didi, remember Didi, the amateur coach?
Yes. I remember Didi, yes.
And they'd gather the troops ahí y todos, y allá también había mucho talent, man, within here and over there, ¿me entiendes? Y they got their feet wet up there también, ¿me entiendes? Ahora Victor Jr., Ravik y Justin. Y de los tres, you could see that there was fire in it, ¿me entiendes? Y yo los entrenaba también, I'd help them out, pero para como, basic, simple, to start, because we all have to start with that. Y they did some sparring también y todo, so they got the feel for it. They got the blood, ¿me entiendes? También, and that was fun. That was fun, and then that was a life experience in life, for them, because the memories he still remembers them, ¿verdad? Y como te digo, esa leyenda no se va a acabar.
Si me puedo acordar también, Joe Jr. también peleó allá.
Joe Jr.
Joe Jr. Estaba bueno, vato. I remember Joe Jr. when he was fighting up there.
There's some
He
good
had
talent,
like 3-4
Chepa.
fights. Y estaba bueno aquel carajo, vato. Nomás que no le siguió, ¿no?
I think Joe Jr. was 4-0.
4-0?
4-0. All four first round knockouts.
Not 1-0, pero 4-0.
4-0.
Okay.
I sparred with Joe Black here, man, at the gym. He wasn't even in shape like hardcore, but he was working out a little bit. Hey, but Joe gave me some good work, man. Most guys here is Cthulhu, no disrespect, but there's some guys you got to put it on, some guys you got to hold back. But Joe, man, I had to throw, I had to throw it because he wasn't holding back. He had a lot of pop too, man. So, Joe's strong, man. He's strong.
So my next question, Vic, you got another question?
No, that's it.
If y'all ever have anything to say, let me know. Let me know, and I'll go from there. What was your most memorable fight in the amateurs boxing, if you remember?
In the amateurs era basically my first fight. Todo el tiempo me voy a acordar, even though I lost it. Pero I fought a kid que, mira, it was my first fight. I fought a kid had about 45 fights right off the bat. And, la perdí, ¿verdad? Pero me acuerdo de la pelea. I remember everything of it. And I lost it, pero I lost it in a good sportsmanship. ¿Me entiendes? That's part of the boxing session también que tiene que tener. It's all involved in it. Pero that was one of them. Y the one that que really stand out, que only Apá miró, porque yo y Apá fuimos lo único que fuimos para los junior national, and it was up in Nebraska, and when I won the title there, ¿me entiendes? That is big.
Who'd you fight? What was his
I
name?
fought a guy from it was from Iowa. Era un negrito también, pero it was a competitive one, pero you could see que, hey, I within yourself dices, la gané. And you know what? That meant a lot porque it was a junior national title accomplishment, ¿me entiendes? And that eso está grande, bro.
National champion is a great accomplishment.
Junior nationals, junior national Olympics. What meant was that you had to be from 10 to 14 years old. So I was 12 years old, ¿me entiendes? Pero within that age bracket. Y luego ya de 15 to 16 era los semi-junior Olympics.
Any boxers you fought in amateurs? They made it pretty big in the pros.
Uh, let me see. So far, que yo sepa, no. A brother of them.
I got one. What's his name? The Golden Gloves. He fought.
Oh, Carrion.
Yeah, he's the referee now.
He's a referee and a judge and everything. Yeah.
Tell us about that fight. How did that one go?
That one, yo la miro on a thing, and you know what? Es como te digo, I don't know if you saw the beginning of the first round. That was my style of fighting right there. Ya después tuve que let it all out. And mira, yo como dije, yo la gané, and the way I beat this guy, because I overpowered him. You know, it was my aggressiveness to para ganarle. And I think the judges saw that, and that was the case in that matter. Pero to me, what really stand out in esa pelea, Jacob, fue that first minute and a half of the first round. Eso era boxeo, bro. Tú mira cómo tiraba los punches, the style that was the style that I was talking about. If you ever get to see it, mira eso, Frankie. El first round, I know it starts out blurry, right?
Yeah.
In the fight, pero from then on to that point.
Por eso le estaba platicando eso when we had that interview the other day. Le dije, because nosotros we were coaches, me and my dad. So we would always be at the coach meetings y todo el pedo, and we would always see all the fights. Estos estaban en el dressing room, este y el otro. Pero ese vato estaba bueno, vato. Ruben Carrión, he was out of the military. Pero he was good. Cuando yo le dije a Pa, and I was telling these guys the other day, when we had the other interview, le dije, I told my dad, le dije, a ver cómo le va a Víctor, vato. Le dije, porque este cabrón está bueno de llamar este Ruben, vato. Pero no, Vic, hey, you dominated, man, te aventaste. A mí se me hace que el factor que donde le diste el standing 8 count, I think es cuando quebró el Chale. Porque el commentator, you can tell that the commentator estaba all for Carrión.
Oh, he was all for
Carrión,
him right from the start.
Porque they knew the guy, you know, and they could see that the guy, you know, they had a following for him. Pero, no, man, you dominated, man, te aventaste de madre. It was a good fight.
And to that matter, en eso en 1985, aquí en Cotula, we made, ¿cómo se dice? History, bro. Hicimos history porque nunca nadie ha ganado 3 brothers in a row at the same, 3 different weight, and nobody. There maybe two brothers, but not 3. And it's
I have to look it up, man.
that goes into the Hall of Fame, bro. And aquí in South Texas, the state of Texas, nobody's ever won it.
Just real quick, that's why I say I've been, I don't know the words for it, like not a protagonist, but like somebody that's been like adamant about like that they need to put the Miranda boxing, not necessarily for me and my brother, but for Victor, for Wala, for my dad, and Wala and my dad for fighting pros, and they competed for actual belts. But these guys are national champions, you know. Like you said right now, 3 brothers that won the Golden Gloves. I think that needs to be remembered. They need to put memorabilia or something. If you're like in that thing they have downtown tomorrow, why don't they put that? You know, why don't they put Miranda boxing, put some gloves, something? I think that needs to be remembered because that's they made history. You know what I mean?
Let me kick off of that. Estos whenever they went to fight anywhere, sea Corpo, sea Lubbock, sea Plainview, sea Dallas, sea Amarillo, sea en Longview, todo el tiempo representaban a Cotula. Victor Miranda de Cotula, Texas. Igual cuando peleaba en regions, the Golden Gloves, all 3 from Cotula, Texas. Cuando fueron a state, all 3 from Cotula, Texas. Cuando fueron a nationals, you know, hey, representaban a Cotula. They would represent Cotula, always, vato. And that was very important to Wala, vato. Yo me acuerdo que Wala, Charlie, and Victor, all 3, todo el tiempo they wanted to represent this town, Cotula. And, you know, they got football teams, basketball teams, they got volleyball teams, they got everything. They go to regionals, and sometimes make it to the finals, pero these guys represented Cotula in nationals, bro. Yeah. Nationals, vato, in state competitions, you know. El Pueblito de Cotula was mentioned every time that these guys fought.
Yes, sir.
And recognizing the little town.
And as far as that too, when Chale fought Roger Mayweather, it said from Cotula, Texas. When Wala fought on ESPN, it said from Cotula, Texas. It was always represented from Cotula, Texas, even on a national broadcast stage, man.
Yeah, that's why I've been saying it. Like I said, I've been an advocate about it. That's what the word I was looking for. Advocate for that. I mean, I don't know who we need to talk to, but I think there has to be something, man, because the legacy they left behind, it needs to be remembered. It needs to be. It's history in this city. It's history in this little town. Tell me somebody else who's done that. Somebody else who's done all those things. And then on top of that, my dad and Walla were professional athletes. Let's not forget about that. They're boxers, but they're professional athletes. What professional athlete has been from Cotula? You know what I mean? I can say one more that receiver that played for the Browns. But other than that, I don't know nobody else. Like, these guys they made history, man.
Hey, I heard a rumor that apparently Ruben, what was his name? Ruben. When he tells you, I beat you that day.
Every time.
Hey.
I have met him at professional fights, ¿verdad? In San Antonio. Y we greet each other con, tú sabes, boxing is, every boxer that's in the world, boxing means familia, bro. Whenever boxing is, you consider a boxer, and lo miras donde quiera, you're considered a family. And that's a respectful way in that matter. That's, tú entiendes eso, whenever, especially when you meet each other in the rings y todo, ¿verdad? And you fight against each other. Pero you have that respect, porque what you're doing, they're doing too. Pero eventually one has to win.
Respect, no,
one has to win, one has to lose.
You gain that respect with them, man.
There's an agony of defeat and then the victorious, ¿me entiendes? So, pero that's the beauty of the thing, porque it's only you and him y el referee. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody's gonna go in for you. And what you bring in is what you're gonna dish out, and that's the outcome. ¿Me entiendes?
I always tell a lot of people, man, it's a long walk from that locker room to that ring. And if you have the balls to get in that ring, I respect you from that point on, because a lot of people won't do it, man. They get too anxious. Nowadays, they'll get too anxious and they'll pull out of all that, man. It's a long walk.
Big balls time.
Man versus
man. For example, como dice Frankie, we'd walk into the locker room, ¿me entiendes? Y out of this, papá y mamá, y pues entre todos nosotros, fundraising independently, ¿me entiendes? Self-sufficient fund. Más mi papá, lo que él juntaba, los llevaba. And to get to those points, you gotta give thanks. Ahora from la comenzada de papá, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
Hey, he had to put in some work too, ¿me entiendes?
Me acuerdo que my dad used to work, y luego the one is que my dad graduated from diesel mechanic at that time. So lo que he got himself a good job. Pero como quiera, we had to do fundraising. I mean, all that costs money, man. When you go to a 4 or 5 day tournament, you got a motel, comida, then you got to take along the equipment, everything. Todo cuesta, gauze, guantes, everything, man.
And that was one thing que entre nosotros, yo me acuerdo que ya nos dio igual y Chale en esos tiempos, because we travel with the team, ¿verdad? De esa manera. We say, hey, mira lo que está haciendo papá. Hey, we're gonna put our 110%, ¿me entiendes? We're gonna be the best that we can to do what's being brought from there hasta acá. It's all involved in that, ¿me entiendes? We win, everybody wins.
Lo bueno es que estaban ganando. And we already lost. I don't know.
¿Quieres ir otra vez? No, hombre.
Hey, once again, guys, this is Chale's Legacies Podcast, episode number 8. I hope y'all enjoying this, man. We're just speaking from the heart. I got all my uncles here. It's very rare we're all here together, man. All of us are all boxers, man. We all box. Everybody had experience here. My cousin Nunes sparred. Isaiah fought. This guy is the only undefeated guy in the family right here. 1-0. That's how he took.
Any questions?
I didn't have anything to prove, man. After I won my first one, nomás dije,
That's all you needed.
what I gotta prove?
Take out.
Retired on top.
Mayweather have something in common.
That fight that my brother Frankie fought in Fargo, North Dakota. He fought and he was the main event. Actually, he came out to be the main event de la pelea de the show. Y entró mi hermano Frankie, y el otro vato se miraba y brincando. You could tell that he had a style of fighting, ¿entiendes? Y Frankie pues sigue y órale, y lo introduced, ¿verdad? Y todo, y los hablaron que go to the middle of the ring.
Déjame decirte, la confianza que tenía Walla en mí. Me dijo Walla, dijo, porque yo estaba parado, estaba esperando. Y luego, I was watching the guy, man. Y luego estaba bueno, y luego pues yo digo, Walla, digo, Frankie, digo, ahorita que salgas para afuera, digo, se van a reír de ti, hijo. Pero tú nomás haz tú lo que puedas hacer. No te agüites, tú nomás entra y le ríes. Es la confianza que me tenía, vale.
Y comenzó el first round too. Comenzó el first round, ¿no? And the guy, he steamrolled Frankie Gacho. No sé, te diría
No
no sé.
tiene ni un golpe.
He didn't throw. Surprised didn't stop the fight.
Y luego llegué a la esquina y le dije a John. Le dije, John, hey, stop the fight, man. Stop the fight. I'm not gonna go out there no more.
Y luego me comenzó Frankie para atrás el second round. I guess the guy se cansó. Se cansó. ¿Me entiendes? There's a lot to the boxing.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Y luego Frankie vino para atrás el second round y Dominic. Y luego el tercero también. Que al último en el third round. El vato estaba cansado que nomás lo puchó a Frankie para que se cayera. Y como que toda la crowd hizo silent, ¿me entiendes? No, porque was funny, ¿me entiendes? Pero se acabó la pelea. And he got a standing ovation. They got a standing ovation for the fight, bro. And it was a good fight. Y luego, the most important thing, al último, he came out the winner. ¿Entiendes?
He experienced everything in one fight.
So, perdió toda la vergüenza ahí, ¿me entiendes? Pero digo,
I got his autograph. I got his autograph in the shoe. Yeah, man.
you got a question, bro?
So how old were you still when that happened?
I think I was, what, 21, I think? I think 20, 21, I think at that time.
Uy,
Ya
yeah.
ni me acuerdo, pero ya.
Pero it turned out to be the best fight of the show, ¿me entiendes?
So then, did Grandpa ever fight too, or is he just a trainer?
He was just a trainer.
Just a trainer.
Just a trainer and support. Support. Yeah, me and my dad were always in the corner. watchando las peleas,
I think
porque-
Jacob said that somebody else fought. One of your uncles, Erasmo.
Erasmo.
Tío Erasmo fought in the amateurs, man. So
You wanna answer
everything's
that question,
good,
Chap?
huh?
You wanna answer that?
Everything's good. No more questions. Anybody got any questions? How you enjoying this, man? You good?
Yeah, bro. It's bringing back memories, como te digo, and those memories are shared throughout todo el tiempo on your daily life. Tú todo el tiempo piensas del boxeo y de lo que las peleas que hemos tenido y todo, pero como dices, I don't know, maybe later on we'll have some more questions to what I'm trying to go through, ¿me entiendes? Para contestar más the accomplishment of all this. The accomplishment del boxeo, ¿me entiendes? Que the legacy aquí en Cotula, we gotta say que comenzó con esa generación, ¿verdad, Frankie?
Yeah.
And we could say que we gave it 110% and more. ¿Me entiendes? And it was, hey, yo miraba a Wala, o te miraba a ti, a Candiro también, que a todos ganaron, chico. Y a ti no te vi de mucho, ¿verdad? Porque estaba yo allá en Minnesota y todo, pero lo que digo yo que whenever we won, I mean, those are cherished moments, man.
And one thing I could piggyback off of that, and he's talking about all of us fought. All my brothers fought. A lot of my nephews fought. CJ fought, and Candido's son CJ, he fought in San Antonio one time. He won there, and then he won Golden Gloves in Corpus. And he had a lot of fights. Isaiah's fought, Chepa's fought, I fought. These guys have sparred. Everybody's been in the boxing ring from all the family, one way or another.
Go ahead.
No, it's a tradition. That's what it is. Tradition.
It's beautiful, man, being raised by you guys, man. I just remember always being involved in boxing, man, seeing it. Jacob boxing. I remember as a kid, my dad would fight, and like Nune was saying, man, we used to go to the gym with you guys. I used to go to the gym with my dad and see them, and then they gave me, come on, little Charlie, and hey, come on, go in. We don't back down for nobody, man. But it's a beautiful story, guys. I'll get any more questions. I'm gonna start getting into some personal stuff here. I got a funny question, I guess you could say is, how and why did you get the nickname Pest? Pest.
One question I told you not to ask.
That's the main one. The Pest. No, tu papá. But I started at Grand Forks while he was doing his boxing career y todo. I got into a pest control business. Pest control. Y de ahí comenzó tu hermano, la peda, eres la peda. And it stayed with me forever. Y como te digo, todo el tiempo, y'all still remember it, ¿me entiendes?
I have you on my phone. The best.
Y those are just, names que we bring up y todo. Y como yo todo el tiempo me acuerdo de ti porque Chale todo el tiempo te dirigía Chepo. Chepo yo por lo menos te guacho y te digo Chepo, ¿me entiendes? You run by Chepa, of course, era Chepa. Ese era. Pero no, it's the past, and it's a legacy. Victor's the past, the past. Así.
Because of the pest control.
The pest control.
Like we said last podcast, my dad had a nickname for everybody. I mean, what was Walla?
El ranchero.
El ranchero, the pest. What else would he call him? My dad would call him another name.
Chale would always have nicknames for everybody, man. I'm the youngest one. I was born in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. And I came 13 years after Victor, man. And he would always tell me, Mama's mistake down by the lake.
All right, Vic, we got a couple more questions, man. We ain't trying to take too much time. We already have 40 minutes down, man. So it's going by quick, man. I know we got the Cowboys playing here in a little bit, man. So we got to get it going, man. But if I'm not mistaken, one thing I do remember about you, Vic, is that you trained my dad in Minnesota. You would train him. You were there with him in the corner. You trained him. You got to see him train. I want you to get in depth on this one, okay? Because I know it's your podcast, but I remember you being there in the corner. I want you to talk about when Dad fought Dennis, when Dad fought Israel, when Dad fought Roger. And let me know what you remember training and everything on that.
Y comenzó con eso, and I go in the mornings con él. We'd wake up at 5 in the morning en vez de la nieve. It was cold, snowy. Sometimes he'd go by himself, pero yo en vez iba con él todo el tiempo también. Pero at 5 o'clock he'd take off running through the snow, miles, 5 miles a day, ¿me entiendes? That was the beginning of his day. And the beauty of the thing que nobody who would want to do that, ¿me entiendes? Pero he had a reason for it, porque supporting y'all, ¿me entiendes? Y luego to what his profession was, el boxeo. And when boxing, whenever you're gonna be there, you have to be physically, mentally, conditioning, todo eso, it's all in one game. Y people don't see that hard work, that determination que uno tiene, the will to keep moving forward. That, and not only one day, 1 week. It's a 8 week, a month, 2 months, and to do it every day. Y luego ir para atrás, para la casa, and then go to whatever job you had or school he was going through, whatever. Y luego come home, y luego family, y luego go to the gym for 2-3 hours, ¿me entiendes? I mean, a day is short compared to all this, ¿me entiendes? Yeah, you got to fit all that within so many hours.
That's a lot of dedication.
You got the gym for 2-3 hours.
It's hard stuff.
Shadow boxing, jump rope, hit the bag, hit the mids, double in bag, speed bag. And then on Daisy Spar, you're putting in 25, 30, 32 rounds.
Pero you spar several rounds with fresh people, ¿me entiendes? 2-3 rounds con uno y luego entra otros 2 rounds con ese, and you're still going, ¿me entiendes? There's a lot to it, pero como te digo, whenever you get in that ring and conoces eso, and then you raise your hands up, I mean that's within yourself. That's a winning battle right there.
Worth it.
That's worth it. He says that's just what I was going.
What was your most memorable in my dad training fight? The fight that was like, wow, this Dennis
when he fought Dennis and we were in the corner también y todo. Esa pelea, we've seen it in video, ¿verdad? La tenemos en video y todo.
Yeah.
Whenever the fight was, before it even got announced who won the fight y todo, ¿verdad? I went in there y levanté a tu papá y I knew the joy that he was going through as I was going through with it. And I carried him porque dije, you did it, and this is it. And that was a stepping stone to where he started going on to.
Let me say something about that fight. Este vato Dennis Miller, he had fought my brother Charlie had fought about 2 weeks before. Y este vato Dennis Miller lo estaba levantando Virgil Hill.
Dennis Allen.
Virgil Hill lo estaba levantando.
Dennis Allen.
Dennis Allen lo estaba levantando Virgil Hill. Virgil Hill was a professional fighter.
A world fighter. A world champion.
So Dennis Allen was his prodigy, lo estaba levantando because he was, building him up, y ese el otro. So, estaba bien levantado el vato ese, Dennis Allen. So, every fight that we fight, first round, second round, knockout a la paloma. So, when they were to go fight at the Fort Bear Casino in Minot, I think it was, Minnesota. Newtown, Minnesota. At the casino there, nobody was giving Charlie a chance. Porque, este vato, he's Virgil Hill's picking him up. He's his
Protege.
Protege y todo el pedo, no. So nobody was giving him a shot. Pero Charlie venía con confianza, vato.
He was in shape.
He was in shape. He knew that with the work he had put in y todo el pedo. Y dijo, I'm gonna win this fight. I'm gonna give him his loss.
It was hot, right?
It was hot as hell too, man.
It was in the tent.
And the tent out of tight.
Even the announcers, and Virgil Hill was part of the announcing cast también, ¿me entiendes? En el broadcast ese. And then in the middle of the fight, they already seen the turnover of the fight. Que Dennis was already, he was already beat. And they admitted it in the broadcasting. He said, no. The excuses are this is this and that y todo. Pero
Chale used to all this heat because he fought in Mexico. All this stuff, bro.
And it opened up the eyes of a lot of, como te digo, a lot of people, ¿me entiendes? And he would always remember también. He knew that that was the stepping step para que más to the next level. Then after that one,
I think, if I'm not mistaken, too, Vic, from what I've heard from stories, Dennis wanted a rematch, no, with my dad as well.
As well, probably también y todo, pero como te digo,
The numbers?
the part in boxing también cuando es encina, you don't want to go back again. You want to keep moving forward, ¿me entiendes? You're not trying to, duck him or nada, pero hey, él también, he should have been better ready for this, pero the better man came out in the winner.
So here's the story of my dad and Dennis rematch. I don't know if you remember this or not. So they offered my dad a rematch. Say, hey, we'll fight you at Dennis again. He had a heat stroke. He wasn't fully prepared. He'll get you next time. We go, okay, and that, of course, we don't back down from nobody. So this and that, we're gonna give you. Then they said 7,000, because I think my dad made about 5,000 the first fight with Dennis. Wasn't too much. That's how much they were making back then. But then they said 7,000. And my dad said, no, you guys paid a singer, somebody playing the guitar, singer, because they had performances before or the day before, and they said you guys paid I don't know who it was, but they paid him $10,000 to sing. He goes, I'm gonna fight Dennis again in his hometown. Like I already beat him. I got nothing to prove. He goes, I want 10,000. Carlos, we can't give you 10,000. He goes, you gave a singer $10,000. I'm fighting. We're boxers. We're entertaining you guys. I want 10,000. He goes, we'll give you 7,000. 10,000. He goes, we'll give you 8,000. Vic, they gave it down all the way to 9,500. My dad said, give me 10,000 or I'm not gonna fight. That's the final offer. We're not gonna give it to you. So my dad would tell me, he goes, man, Chip, I messed up. I should have took the 9,500. He goes, instead, I fought a guy 5,000. I fought him, I think Blaine Beers or something like that for 5,000. I said, man, lesson learned, man. But they did offer that rematch. They did offer a rematch, man. And
But they just didn't. They didn't come up with the amount that was requested. Yeah.
They had it.
Could cover it up.
So after that fight, he went and fought more than he fought Roger. Give us a little bit on that.
Roger, fuimos para Grand Rapids, Michigan in March. I think it was. It was still snowing y todo, ¿verdad? Fuimos para allá. And throughout ahí en los weigh-ins y todo, and that was a messed up deal allá. He got robbed with all that porque there was considered era para una title fight, Frankie. It was intercontinental something. So basically, when you're like that, they're gonna have you lose weight y todo, pero since it's hometown, it's fan favorite y todo, the commissioners y todo, iba empezado, and they didn't even force it, and that was part of the Charlie's trainer también, and his part, pero since we were there, they said, go through it. I mean, that was already an advantage comparado para eso. I mean, one don't understand, pero Charlie had to train to get to his weight limit.
1 pound is a big difference.
It's a huge difference.
What did Roger come in at?
Oh, he was like 3 pounds over, 4 pounds.
And they didn't make him lose on weight?
No le hicieron que hiciera
Yeah,
peso.
nowadays you get money for that.
Yeah,
You-
exactly.
You make them lose at least a little bit of weight, and you can't rehydrate or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Como te digo,
Especially
Frank.
for a title fight.
Yeah, I
IBA
mean,
was a major.
That was
it
the
a
right
title
from
out
the
there.
start. That was a messed up deal, ¿me entiendes? And luego comenzó la pelea y luego, like in the second or third round, he got cut en la nariz de volada. Pero, we stuck in there y todo, y Charlie también y todo, pero. And he gave it a good battle, y como te digo, nomás maybe that extra pounds that he would have lost at the beginning of the weigh-ins y todo would have been a different
Roger was
result.
Roger
A different
was,
result,
was
¿verdad?
in great shape that time. Or Chale was beating up his body that he didn't look like he was in.
Because if you see the fight, Roger a lot of times laid back on the ropes a lot,
Yeah.
and then I don't know why that referee. Sometimes my dad would be going to work in the body, the referee would come and separate it when there was no reason for it.
Yeah,
You know, he
right.
was working. So
Pero, and that, it's como te digo, sometimes you're in a different environment. A home crowd is different at a hometown, ¿me entiendes? De alguien más. And it's always going to be a favorite for that matter. And to that, he's going to have more supporting cast in that matter. Pero there was no shame for that to what your dad did in that fight y todo, porque he
I had Chale winning a lot of rounds that fight, man.
he
In the
gave
middle
him a
rounds.
good fight, como te digo, and at a disadvantage point, ¿me entiendes? Pero pues pasó lo que pasó.
I think if Dad would have maybe won the last 2 rounds, like, cause the last 11th round, I know they were exchanging pretty well, and then they kind of went at it again in the 12th. But I think if Dad would have stayed up and maybe pushed through, maybe would have won those 2 rounds.
Right.
Maybe probably could have got a split decision, or maybe
Ándale.
You know,
Yeah, it'd be hard.
it'd be hard because he's in hometown. I get it.
Yeah. But they shouldn't have stopped the fight either.
No, that was stupid.
It was like 2 seconds left or something.
Yeah, he got up. He was fine. Yeah.
I remember watching the video and seeing you every time you go to the corner, you keep asking me, "That's bien, Chale? You okay?" You keep asking me. I knew you knew. And then after the fight, of course, we didn't know then. But after the fight, Dad came up to us and told us that, it was over. I think you were telling him, too, that he was over. I think you and Brad had a little disagreement on everything because, as a boxer, Brad's a trainer.
Right.
They don't know because they're not taking the punishment. But you guys know as boxers, 2 pounds, a pound is a difference, man. It's a big difference, man. Like, especially if you don't. And then you got to remember, as a professional, for a world title, they got a whole day to rehydrate. So he must. You could tell the difference, man. None of the shots were hurting.
He looked
He's
bigger.
a big boy. He kept putting the hand out, pushing him down.
Es como, mira, that's a prime example que te dije temprano at the beginning of this interview, cuando me dijeron, cuando tú spareabas con tu hermano Charlie, igual y todo. They're bigger than me and weight difference. Remember, we started the broadcast on Cena, and that makes a difference, ¿me entiendes? And we know it. Y ahí era, and for that matter, it was wrong. And because it's not right. And then, I mean, it does falter to that. It gives you an advantage.
And it was their show too, man. It had Jeff Mayweather fight, Floyd fought,
Ahí
and
hizo-
Roger fought, and all of them fought. Yeah.
We got to meet all the... Antes que era flamboyant, Floyd Mayweather ahí andaba y todo. So ahí estuvimos hablando con él y todo, pero it was their show, ¿me entiendes? Pero Charlie was taking part of it, and should have done it in the right way. That was the thing.
What you got a question?
I was just gonna say, like, I knew you worked with Brad a lot, Brad Trisky. So, like, did y'all have any disagreements as far as, like, I know the Dennis Allen you had disagreements, but, like, other fights, negotiations, or other things that you guys have any disagreements or arguments? I know you guys are both training him. So.
He was casi we didn't touch him too much on him porque he was basically the trainer, ¿verdad? And then his Rory, remember Rory up in Minneapolis?
He was the manager.
The promoter wise, kind of like so it was mostly their saying. Es como te digo, it's a business. Sports it's a business, man. On the other half también. Es lo que tiene, I mean, si no tiene, and that's what I wanted to get to también at the beginning. Sports is a business, como te digo, some people get it on the easy side, ¿me entiendes? They're up there with the right people, so all they have to do is just train, Jacob. Es todo lo que tiene que ser. Out of their whole day, they get paid for their training. They don't have to work. They don't have to do nothing. They got all the physical body to lose weight, cut fat, todo ese jale, ¿me entiendes? They got all the equipment para todo. Uno tiene que hacerlo de. That's why it was that moment from there. Si es lo que le faltaba, Chip. Nomás de esa fuera sido, man. It would have been a whole different story.
Yeah.
Alright, man. Next question. I remember this one, man. And I just want you to get really in depth in this one, Vic. What's your best memory of my dad? With my dad? That you remember, man. Having with my dad.
Best memory with your dad was he would always be there for me. Esa era la persona que era él. And he showed it everywhere. That's not a hidden thing. he would show, es uno de esos que dice, él te iba a dar, he'd cut off his sleeve de volada para dártela a ti. Without any questions asked, ¿me entiendes? Ese era el corazón de él. That was him. Que he would help anybody out. No importa que quién era or whatever. Pero he would always have that comfort para que alguien más lo tenga, and he'd be pushing him through. Pero somebody else would have the better feeling, ¿entiendes? And yo también digo, I appreciate it. I wish my brother, como te digo, pero pasó lo que pasó. And even us as con mi papá, ¿verdad? Y'all's grandpa. We miss our dad también, but we still don't give up, ¿me entiendes? We still keep moving forward. We have to. Es como te digo, and that's part of all this whole conversation thing. Es como te digo, mira, and I'll finish this off in this matter. El boxeo, pues yo, en my behalf, yo lo cogí pues, con todos mis hermanos. Fuimos 6, ¿verdad? De todos boxeamos y todos ustedes también. Pero él tenía the endurance for the boxing, and he had the thrive to do it. Candido had the bull rage. He didn't back off on nothing. Wala had the skills to the boxing. Chale had the bull, the power to what he would fight to where he didn't have no lástima hitting you. That was the point on his part. And mío era, but I got cut short y todo. Pues, también tenía su power y todo. And out of all that, in boxing, there's a boxer, and it was all in that boxing portion right there. All of us together. ¿Me entiendes? That's the legacy of Cotula. That's the legacy of the Miranda family, putting forward to what we did, and we're still not done. ¿Me entiendes?
Well said.
Do you have a time like when we go to Western Hole? Remember the Western Hole?
Yes.
Go watch. Do you have a time that you remember the most? You remember with my dad? Anything, man. If I'm mistaken, we were talking about fights.
The Vikings game. The Vikings game, can
I was just gonna say the Viking game. You two papá. Rory, the promoter, gave us two. Give your dad 2 free tickets to los Dallas Cowboys to the Minnesota Vikings en el Metrodome en Minneapolis. Lo arrancamos yo y tu papá un Sunday morning, and we took off in that little blue truck. Y lo arrancamos para allá yo él solos y luego the game was Sunday night. Dallas against Minnesota. The best game ever. We won it in overtime. Y luego, pero we had the best time there together, man. Against 65,000 Minnesota Viking fans. And then we almost got beat up there. And then drove back to Grand Forks. That was the best time that I would say one of the best days me and him had in our entire life together. That was awesome.
That's right.
Me acuerdo que ya, ¿por qué estás diciendo eso? Me acuerdo que ya estos que iban al Western Hole, ¿no se llamaba?
Western Hole.
Ese también you used to go with them también, ¿no, Chap?
Yeah, I used to
At
go
that
with
place.
them. Because like I said,
eran puros Viking fans.
they would only show the Vikings.
Viking fans y luego contra Dallas Cowboys. Y luego Charlie y Victor con los Dallas Cowboys y este y otro. So, the whole damn bar against these two guys, man. Y luego ese que estos brincaban every time the Cowboys would make a score or a touchdown o ese el otro. And everybody's just staring them down, oh. Está cabrón, yeah.
I remember too when we used to live in Grand Forks, my dad always rocking the Cowboys jersey. Everywhere I go, photo Viking fans. Cowboys suck. This and that. Get out of here, Cowboys. And I tell you, it was different up there.
Hey, got any more questions, guys? Any more questions about boxing? That's all I got. One more question. Last question. Vic, this was your last video. This was the reason why I do this, guys, is that when my dad died, I thought, like I told the previous podcast, and I always tell, I thought Dad was going to be here forever, man. We promised him and Mom were going to grow old. I was going to make him a grandpa, all this stuff, man. And just one day to the next, it happened. God has his reasons for it. I'm sure when we all go and meet our Lord and Savior, we have a question. ask him, and why him? Like Frank was saying the other day, there's a million people in this world that deserve that. My dad was a good man. He became a good man, and I miss him dearly, man. But with that being said, his passing opened my eyes to realize we're not guaranteed tomorrow.
Right.
We might not wake up tomorrow. This is all on God's time. So I want to keep your memory alive, his memory alive, Frank's memory alive, y'all's legacy alive, man. Me and Isaiah follow you guys with boxing. We saw you guys, and maybe one day my kids would do it, or maybe one day Nuna's kids would do it, and it started off with you guys. Yeah, well, I think Wallace the one that really started it, but y'all kept it going, man. Y'all three had that fire, and of course Jacob kept it going. I used to watch Jacob all the time, man, and he trained me a couple times, and we kept it going, man. But this is the reason why I'm doing this. I hope this is entertaining to you guys. I hope you guys like it. Leave a comment or even like the button right here. It's right here. I saw the like button on the YouTube. Vic, if this is your last video that you have, and you want to leave something for your kids, for Nuna, for them to see, or when you get older, your kids to see it, what do you want to say to the camera? It's your last video. If you want to say anything.
Pues nada, that you basically enjoy your life on a day-to-day basis to the fullest, to what we want to do, and to never give up, and just to have the best put forward to whatever you have to do. And como he says, nobody's gonna give you a hand, por ejemplo. You always have to go earn what you have to do it. And once you've earned it, y todo, I want you to feel that joy that's there. That's the most important thing. Y that comes from the Lord up above. Y it's all in us, and un día los va a tocar a todos, bro. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I just want to say this before we end. Just want to say that that we're gonna keep this legacy alive. Of course, me, my tios, my dad, my cousins, everyone. And I just want to say that to if anybody out there, to use this as a motivation to never stop, to keep going no matter what you go through or what you do. Just keep fighting. Keep doing this and that. To keep to do what you have to do. And this has been in our family for generations. It's in our blood. It's always going to be in our DNA. This is something we grew up to, and something that's always going to be in our lives. And so I just want to say that this might who know, like my cousin was saying, this might be my last video, my dad's last video. I just wanted to say that I love I love my whole family, my cousins, my tios, my mother, cousin, my dad, and everybody out there. So just like I said, just use this as a motivation for anything out there. So yeah.
Right? Yeah.
We're big Cowboys fans. Cowboys play in about 30 minutes. So.
Yeah, man.
Go Cowboys.
I wish me and Isaiah, man. I wish my dad. I could have did this. The reason why it might not even get big, man. Nobody might even watch it. We're doing it just for us to have in memories. But man, Vic, when my dad was alive, we used to be right here all the time, right, Jake?
Yep.
Same story. Oh, when I fought Carizales, when I fought Paul Benke, when I fought so and so, and it got so to where it was like, man, okay, dude, I already heard the story so many times, but I would give anything to have that story back. You know what I'm saying? Because those are something that we cherish, man. We cherish. You started forgetting details, man. But hey, thank you, Vic. Thank you for coming out here, man, and showing us support and letting me talk to you, man, and asking interviews, man, and like I said, man, I'm thankful to have you as my uncle. I remember when Dad passed, you came by a couple times, and I know it was hard for you, man. I remember, how hard it was for you, man. But, one day we're all going to be together again, man. And that's all we're looking forward to. Until then, I just want to make him proud. So, and then nobody's got anything else to say. I'll go ahead and end it. Hey, thank you, Vic, man. I appreciate you, brother, man. Love you, man. And I enjoy having you as my uncle, man. And I hope we can continue again. One day I want to get everybody in here, man. Have a great one, man, and get it going.
Un día se hace. Yeah.
So, Tris, this is Chale's Legacy Podcast, episode number 8. We interviewed my tío Victor. Hope y'all enjoyed it, man.
Miranda.
Yes, sir.
Go Cowboys.